Who is your greatest inspiration?
How did you get to New York City?
What is the best adventure you've ever been on?
Why do you like people?
What's your favorite performance that you've been a part of?
Tell me about your experiences with love and romance.
What would be the name of the movie of my life?
Hi, I'm Jarrett Berry. I'm one of the writers for GenSpeak. I worked with Barbara and Peter. And the titles of the pieces are Here I Am and Once on a Train. And Once on a Train, when talking to Barbara, I noticed that she loves to be around people, loves to talk with people, loves to just start conversations with people. And she was talking about how she was talking with a stranger on a train, and I was like, do you have any other stories of talking with people on a train? And she said yes, and she gave me a few, and that kind of led to the song. And I've been so inspired and excited to be a part of this and talk to them, so I hope you enjoy.
What's the best adventure I've ever been on? In all our lives, we meet people who are making a print on us, in our mind and our hearts. I've met a lot of people who were unusual, and when you meet them on a train, it's a fragmented meeting. Once on a train in Italy, as the Italian flowers flew by. Once on a train, a man sat next to me, whose eyes, which were kind, struck mine. And there on that train, as the roses rolled on, we talked about life and love. We shared stories and laughs. We were a whole of two halves. It was the start of what? I'm unsure. But till this day it's endured. Once on a train. Once on a train in Manhattan, there was a man with a riot in his eyes. Once on a train, I asked what happened, and this man, he looks at me and cries. And there on that train between the city and Queens, he says, my wife's been with another. I tell him he's gotta come down, screaming, my wife's been with another. I tell him to stop, look around. I tell him have patience. He says, what do you mean? I say you might want to forgive her. Here on a train, when you meet them, it's a moment in time. You don't owe them anything, just the energy you bring. And with the closing of the door, it's off to find another story. On some other train, these moments will never bore me. There's only good to gain. Once on a train, I was led to the love of my life. We had the same mind. Once on a train, it seems the minute was right, the rarest love you could find. And there on that train, as we sat and we talked, our auras just meshed, so we got off and walked. And as the moonlight touched us, our eyes just locked. Once, everything's made of stories, better than once upon a time. Once on a train.
Here I am being inspired by a question I asked Peter of what would be the title of your life, or, the title of your novel or your movie. And he responded, "Here I am." And then he proceeded to write a poem and he sent it to me. And so part of the poem is in the song.
How did I get here? I took many roads to get here, and wherever it is that I've arrived. You do these things because you think you have no control over what you're doing, so you do all these things, even things that were hard and were never ever worth pursuing, and you want stuff that you don't get. You don't ask questions, think your life is set, that's the plan. You say, "Here I am. Yes, here I am." What comes next while you're on this path? You do the work, now you do the math. You figure now's the time. You live your dream, you chase it down. The spotlight beams, go on and take your crown. There it is, you scream, "Here I am." Finally, here I am. Things turn out different than what I planned, than what I hoped, than what I thought, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you found me. I had to be somewhere, so here I am. See, here I am.
Hi, my name is Eliana Theologides Rodriguez, and I'm the playwright for Walks Along the Seine. So I first worked with Rattlestick in 2018 during the week-long run of St. Vincent's Project, Novenas for a Lost Hospital by Kuzi Cram, in which I played a dancing nun. And that was a really fun experience, but it also was my first real experience with community-based theater, which is why I was so excited to be invited back for this project, which is also very community-based in a really special way. But I was nervous getting started because I usually write for people who very much resemble myself, which means they're usually within my age range, and I was nervous to try something new. But the more I met with the participants and the more I learned about the real lack of roles for older folks, and particularly older women, and the lack of content that speaks to their experiences and perspectives, the more excited I was to dive into this play. I didn't come in with any idea of what I wanted to write about, other than that I wanted to write about lying. I'm very compelled by lies and why we lie and the worlds that we create in our heads. And as we kept working, I thought that it was important to tackle ageism and the ways that people my age can be quite offensive and quite harmful in the way that we speak to older folks. So I wanted to tackle that as well. And then I also just became really inspired by the artistic communities that a lot of people find post-retirement, because those are so rich and so inspiring. So yeah, that's where the play came from, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Oh, hello. Hi. Hi. Can you hear me? I'm Teddy. I've never. It's nice to meet you.
Hey, ladies. Technical difficulties. I'm usually like really good at Zoom. I'm here. I am here. Hello. Okay. Only 2 people so far. Not bad. A+ for you guys. Hopping on before the teacher. What time is it? Well, we can get started with introductions as people trickle in. You both found the link on the activities board. It wasn't hard to find.
No.
Okay, we all received our kits in the mail. It was a box. It was like, maybe like yay big. It has your tools, your clay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, wondrous. Okay. So let's have everyone say their name, their pronouns, where they're calling in from, their experience level with ceramics. This is still a beginner's class, so no experience required. How long they've been a part of the Second Bloom Community Center, and a fun fact. I like to keep things very fun in my classes. Would anyone like to start? We're shy today. You know what? I can get us started. My name is Rain. Like Rain. That's my name, my given name. And I've been a ceramics artist since high school, so over 10 years now. I studied art history in college with a ceramics minor, so I'm the real deal. And I have been passing my love for ceramics onto beautiful seniors like you at the center for, about almost 3 years now. People think that you can't learn something new when you're old, but I am amazed every day by what your guys' minds are capable of. We're gonna have a lot of fun in here. Okay, anyway, my fun fact is, sorry. Oh, you know what? This is actually the director of Second Bloom. I might be calling about the rest of the class, so I'm just gonna.
Is my mic on? Can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
Hi there. You're just in time. We were about to do introductions. I'm Teddy, and this is, and the teacher's name is Rain, like Rain.
Oh, Dinah. Dinah, is anyone finer in the state of Carolina? If you know her, then show her to me. Bo bedo.
You haven't done ceramics before, have you? I hope I'm not the only beginner.
Oh, I thought this was a poetry group. Oh, I get so frazzled when I come back from a trip. My son surprised me with a nice little trip to Paris.
Poetry group. If you go back to the email with the activities board, you could probably find the link.
Wow.
But dial. like super full. Anyway, how are we? Ready to get started? Does anyone need a potty break?
I think we're all right, thanks.
Love it. Love the energy. This is going to be great. Introductions, check. Next up, ground rules. Yay. So ceramics is what happens when you sculpt clay and put it in the oven. Pretty neat. But there are rules. Okay, and I need you guys to pay attention. Hey, Nora, are you frozen? Hi, just move around every once in a while so we know you're alive. Rule number 1, keep your station clean. Clay dust is an irritant, and you don't want to be exposed to it for too long. Sponges are included in your kits for a reason, people. Rule 2, clay can be no thicker than your thumb. This is hard for me because I have slender thumbs. Are you guys with me? Let me know if I'm going too fast.
I think you're doing just fine.
Can I get a thumbs up? Okay, great. Because next we're going over the tools, which is important. Did everyone receive their toolkits? Oh, shit. I think, you know what? I think I left them in my car. Fun fact about me, you guys will see my memory is absolute shit. Maybe that's why older folks love me so much. Okay, hang tight.
Is your memory shit? Mine's not bad. Hello again.
Found the poetry room. No one's there. Haven't been this lonely since Paris.
Oh.
My son was, well, he's a well-known diplomat, so he was quite busy during the day.
Fancy.
Paris is a great city for solitude, though. I spent a lot of time walking along the Seine. That's the big river they have. And going to churches and restaurants and museums, you know. You'll find this interesting. Ceramics was actually an important part of the French Revolution.
No kidding.
My son, he's quite the amateur art historian. He showed me around the Louvre, walking me through each exhibit, told me about 100 facts about each little thing.
Oh.
Here we are. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yep, this is everything. Okay, so lucky for us, I also remembered to grab one of my art history books from college, so that will be a treat.
Does it talk about the French Revolution?
Yes, A+. Have you taken my class before?
Oh, there's a woman who just got back from France, and she was just in here telling us about...
Dinah was in the Zoom.
You know her?
Everyone at Second Bloom knows that woman, and she did not just get back from France, let me tell you. When we were in person, she came in almost every day of the year talking about her son, taking her to Australia, Spain, Thailand. Now I guess she's haunting the virtual space too. I mean, I can't get a break. Did she tell you about ceramics and the French Revolution? Learned that fact from my class, by the way. Crazy old hag. Next time, just ignore her till she goes away. You know, I'll fiddle with the settings and try to kick her out.
Oh, hello! Poetry group. Turns out poetry group is tomorrow, not today. Still be on Paris time. It's a shame. I already wrote my poem and everything.
You know what? We're in the middle of class, Dinah. So, okay. Anyway, your basic tools are cutoff wire, needle tool, felting knife, and the rolling pin. The cutoff wire is
Would
used.
you like to practice reading it?
Pardon?
Oh, if you insist. When I'm blue, I think back to our walks along the Seine. I think of when we dodged the poor outside the Sacré-Cœur. Outside Versailles, we couldn't pry the gypsy from my palm. At Notre Dame, we said a prayer for Cousin Joe and Claire. And then we moved onto the Louvre and marveled at the art. It broke my heart to say adieu. Back on the Seine with you. But when I'm blue, I'll dream of when I come to France again. The end.
That made me feel like I was really in Paris.
Hi, my name is Wes Braver, and I'm the songwriter for this project. I was really lucky to be paired with Russ, Alan, and Nikki on this. They all have a very strong relationship with theater. Russ is a theater director and has been for his entire career. Alan came to it a little bit later in life, but has been writing musicals and plays. And Nikki is perhaps the most prolific theater goer in human history. She sees 500 performances a year in New York City. And we've had lots of amazing conversations about theater. And we created these two songs about the life philosophies in the group. Life is a Gift is a song that Alan wrote the lyrics to and I wrote the music to. And the way that I do, Nikki and I had several interviews where I asked her her perspectives on life, and she gave me, no shortage of material to work with. So I sort of arranged it in a way and then wrote the music as well, but those words are all Nikki's verbatim. And I really hope you enjoy. And thank you to my group for having such wonderful contributions. And I found it such an enriching experience. So thank you guys for putting this on.
I have 300 people in my contact list. Not one of them is a mensch. Great moral courage is a quality extinct today. We're going to be a bunch of wimps. We don't have any backbone or principles. Only ignorance is growing by leaps and bounds. I have no tolerance for optimists who don't have a full portrait of the horror. They're not listening to NPR 24 hours a day the way that I do. The way that I do. The human condition has been pretty much a deplorable one, right from the start. We never knew it was going on. Well, you can't say that, especially not anymore. Where is their moral conscience? All these billionaires, if they can send humans to Mars, why can't they hire some engineers to fix the callous deprivation afflicting the bulk of humanity? I'm so allergic to these cliches, mollycoddled mediocrities, the easy option. I belong to a militant black group on Zoom, and we talk about the truth of US history. There really is no mystery today. Just look at it this way, the way that I do. The way that I do. Why do we have to musicalize everything? 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 I saw a musical about Anne Frank. It wasn't as horrible as you might imagine. Still, why do we have to musicalize everything? Why do we have to musicalize everything? Why do we have to musicalize everything? The Bible is a pathologically latent piece of writing. It's very weird, replete with genocide. I did not care for Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Too optimistic. I much prefer his anti-Vietnam War stuff. I want to abolish gender. It has no valid rationale and causes so much harm. Stand-up comedians are also narcissistic. They think that telling jokes makes them funny, but it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The thing that really bothers me is people with no curiosity. That's the foundation. That's what made Einstein, all the heroes in history. They all had that ingredient. I have to learn 100 new things every day, and with the internet, I have carte blanche to find anything at random. Gives you one thing, then it takes you somewhere else. There are people who say platitudes like, I don't see color. Well, I wonder how they do in an art gallery. If there's one thing I'll say, it's this: never be bored by anything. Never be bored by anything.
Life is a gift, don't give it away. Treasure each day, my friend. You may be searching for just who you are, looked long and far, waiting for your star to ascend. Don't let those roadblocks along the way ruin your day or cause your dreams to end. Just hang in there and see it through. Have faith that you possess the talent to make them come true. All of us stumble, all of us fall. Don't let it all get you down. So keep on singing, dancing, or writing that play. 'Cause there's nothing sadder than the day when someone who's older looks over their shoulder and wonders why they let the thing they love slip away. There may be doubters who claim life's a dark road that's filled with pain, but what is there to gain by feeling defeated and leaving yourself cheated? So get out there and ring that bell, 'cause you can never tell when Lady Fortune's gonna glance your way. Yes, you've earned it. This is your lucky day. Remember, life's no audition. We're already playing our part. So, lights on, curtain up, audience cheers, overture starts. Hit your cue and give it all you've got in your heart. Life is a gift. Don't give it away.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Cito, and I'm the playwright for The Future is Calling. It's been really, really great to be able to be connected to Greenwich House through Rattlestick. I grew up very close with my grandparents, and especially because of the pandemic, I just haven't been able to really keep in touch with them. And so it was nice to spend a lot of time with the people in my cohort and hear their stories and their advice. And that's kind of where this piece came out of. I think a lot of people, you know, in their sort of early 20s, which is where I'm at, are experiencing a lot of decision fatigue. And it sort of reminded me of when I had turned 18 and sort of feeling like you're making all these big decisions about your life. And I do think now, having heard advice from people in my cohort, that making mistakes, and even if you had all the answers about the future, it doesn't make making those decisions and experiencing your life and making those mistakes any easier. And making those mistakes are also very valuable. So that's how this piece came about. Thank you for watching.
Video diary number 18, which is perfect because I'm turning 18 today. Or I did already, because Oma said I was born right as the sun rose. But like, you already know that because you're me watching this. Like, I don't need to tell you stuff you already know, unless I do in case you forget or something. Or maybe there'll be other people in the future saying this. I mean, I am kind of recording this for posterity or whatever, so that I can remember what it's like to be me at the age I am right now. Or like for some future techno-archaeologist who comes across Yeji's video diary. They're all just like judging the quality of this video and judging me for recording on a software that's supposed to be for video calls. But anyway, that's like me going on so many tangents, which is what Mr. Minashi gave me notes on my speech about, this dumb Robert Frost poem. And all of a sudden, my tangents lower my grade. Anyway, hi, me. I turned 18 today, but it feels like nothing, even though it's supposed to be huge. Like, time isn't real. It's not like I'm suddenly different now that I'm 18. I just made up years and months and stuff. Like, I'm an adult now? Really? Me? Are you kidding? And do I have to be? But yeah, I just feel like I keep having to make decisions all the time about the future, about how what I'm doing now affects my future. I keep feeling like I'm going to pick the wrong things. And it feels like I don't get to make any small decisions anymore. Like which flavor of ice cream I want now is something that could be life-altering. Everything's such a big deal. So that's where I'm at. Crossroads, I guess. So future me, I hope you're good. It would be nice if you could tell me how to choose. What the? Sungmin! Are you hacking my Zoom? Future you? This better not be some Zoom bong.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Okay, so don't freak out. Yes, I'm you. Yes, this is real. And yes, you still do look like you could be in high school at the age of 28.
You're 28?
Mm-hmm. I'm 28. You're 28 when you're me. I'm you 10 years from now.
So you're like a potential future.
I guess so.
That's amazing. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Now tell me what I'm supposed to do to get to where you are if it's good, or what I'm supposed to do to avoid getting to where you are if it's bad.
You don't need me to explain how the space-time fabric is pretty thin during crossroads times like these, and how I was able to give you a call.
Not really.
Oh, wow. I forgot how desperate for help I was. You are. We were. Anyway.
Yeah?
I guess, well, the reason I wanted to talk to you is because I think I have pinpointed the exact moment everything in my life went wrong, and you can avoid it. So when Sungmin invites you to go bowling with his boss from Milwaukee, and his boss turns to you and says, "You strike me as someone we would want at the company," don't take the job, even though Sungmin would say it's a good idea.
But he's my brother. Wouldn't he just be looking out for me?
Yeah, of course. But you gotta look out for yourself too. Don't just follow what he says is a good idea. Think for yourself. And when it comes up, remember to follow exactly what I said.
Okay, got it. Well, if no one else is going to call up to tell me another major mistake I'm going to make, then I guess we're good here. I'm not going to do as bad as I thought. Oh!
Hey, that's not a nice way to greet yourself, Yaji. Oh, that's so funny to say, because I'm Yaji.
Well, you're here too?
Of course. I remember this call. I just need to say that I know this other version of us is advising you not to move and start a new job, but I actually advise you to do that.
What?
It's taken time, but I've realized that that was so important to who I've become. I wouldn't change it for the world.
But it's my biggest regret.
I know it feels like it, but no matter what you choose, there's always something to regret. And trust me, things will turn around. Okay, Yaji?
Is all of this recorded?
No, since my call interrupted your video recording and started tangling the time strings. You'll have to start re-recording your video diary all over again to pick up from where time left off. Why?
Well, I want to make sure I don't forget any of your advice. And I don't... Oh, man, I want to know everything. That way I can avoid making mistakes and ruining my life. So what else? I'll just handwrite my notes.
Be nicer to Uma, or at least be a little more patient. You won't really get it until you have kids who act exactly like you used to, but you'll understand one day. Oh, and get a Glorb membership much sooner.
Is Glorb some funky future thing you can tell me about to get ahead?
Oh no, it's just a really great regional wholesale club that pops up. But deciding which level of membership is kind of a toss-up. Honestly, I can't advise you whether gold or platinum level is better. You just have to decide.
Oh, when do I get to stop having to make decisions? All these choices and paths.
Two roads diverge in yellow wood. Mr. Menashe did not like that speech.
Tell me about it.
Well, if you want me to tell you about it, I have to make sure I don't go on any tangents.
I guess I shouldn't diverge the way the two roads in the yellow wood did.
That's funny, but I don't remember that at all.
Wow, I thought I was seared into my mind. But I guess you forget things eventually that aren't really as important as they felt in the moment. Like, do any of you remember the humongous pimple I had on my nose last week? Well, I look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But case in point, I guess.
I do have one more thing to add, not pimple related. I wasn't sure how to say it, but I guess I just need to get it over with. Marriage isn't for everyone. There's a lot of emphasis on finding someone and being with them forever. That's great, And it works for some people, but it doesn't have to be for you if you realize it's not.
So you're saying it's not?
I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying that it doesn't have to be. The idea of marriage has been ingrained in you since a very young age, and maybe things would be different if we weren't so caught up in what is supposed to be.
You know, right now, you're kind of reminding me of Oma.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I catch myself in the mirror and find myself doing the same expressions. It freaks me out.
I guess we do turn into our parents eventually.
28-year-old Yeji. What have you done? What are you doing? What will this do? I don't know how to be mad at you in the correct verb tense. You are obviously not thinking about consequences.
Oops, and I think now is a good time for me to leave.
Bye! Thanks for the advice!
And you are thinking too much about consequences.
Do you think you've pinpointed the moment where everything in our life went wrong?
Yes. This call.
I'm here to talk about death.
Oh my God.
You exist? There is a you? How old are you?
I remember being you. Imagine being 78 and making peace with the idea of death, only to get 30 more years.
I'm pretty impressed with myself.
Wow.
When I was your age, I was keeping a video diary and having trouble making decisions. And what I didn't think about was also how those decisions would affect my kids and their kids, my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren.
No! I haven't even been considering that! So not only does what ice cream flavor I choose matter, but me choosing Rocky Road can inadvertently affect my relationship with my great-grandchildren!
It has been a pretty rocky road.
Okay, I think that's enough. Everyone needs to leave this Zoom now. Thank you.
Well, wait, how do we know calling today will make a difference?
She heard what everyone said. Didn't you?
Yeah. Don't go bowling with my brother and his punny boss, but also do. And be nice to my mom and resist every institutionalized thought about marriage being fed to me while buying in bulk and also thinking about how what I do affects my great-grandchildren.
Okay then, she's got it. Bye everyone.
Are you going to tell me the actual biggest mistake I made and how to change it?
Yes. And here's my advice. I want you to take that paper of notes and fold it carefully in half.
Okay.
And fold it again and again.
Okay.
And then you're going to take that and throw it away.
Hey, wait!
I want you to forget everything we just said. I know it's impossible to forget a video call with different future versions of yourself, but I want you to ignore what they think is right or wrong when it comes to decisions. It's making you spend too much of right now on the future. You can only become the you that you are going to be. Making mistakes is the trick to a life well lived.
Well, then I want to make the right mistakes. I don't want to have regrets about anything.
You won't be able to avoid regret, but you won't be you without it. There's plenty of time to get to where you're going, and you'll get there however you do. Don't forget, it's your birthday. Celebrate today.
Thank you. I really appreciate this. Everything. But next time, you all can save the trouble and just get me a gift instead.
Happy 18th, Yaji. From me to you. Here's your present.
Oh, please don't be the space-time continuum law enforcement. No, I don't know. Whatever you and Sunbeam want. Actually, wait. Can we get an ice cream cake? The chocolate one. Thanks. I'll see you in a bit. Love you. Video diary number 18, which is perfect because I'm 18 today.
Hey everyone, my name is Paolo Quequerol, and I wrote the book, music, and lyrics for the new mini-musical, Love Songs. For this project, I made 4 new friends, Sandra, Arlene, Thomas, and Bill. And initially, our conversations, while pleasant, were also very correct and polite and proper. But once we got to talking about relationships and romance and sex, everything changed. And that's what inspired me to write this. Everything in Love Songs is inspired by stories that Sandra, Arlene, Thomas, and Bill shared with me, and in fact, a lot of the words in the show are their own. It's been an absolute joy and honor to take these 4 wonderful people's stories and to work with an equally wonderful cast and creative team to put together this virtual mini-musical. And so everyone, please enjoy Love Songs.
Welcome to a little show that's all about love. It's a show where 4 old people sing about love. Grab a drink, relax a bit, and pray the Wi-Fi doesn't quit on 4 old people singing about love. Ever ask your grandma about her sex life and love? Heard your grandpa talk about libido and love. Brace yourself for TMI. This ain't your granny's apple pie. It's 4 old people singing about love.
Wow. What a great crowd we have out there tonight.
Don't you all look comfy in your living rooms?
Oh my God, put on some pants.
You, put on a bra. There was a time when I didn't need one either.
As we were saying, thank you for being here tonight.
We thought to ourselves, wouldn't it be lovely to get together and
Sing some songs, tell some stories.
And maybe some wisdom in the end.
Because what's a musical without a moral lesson?
And if you don't agree with what we say about love, that's okay. It's not as though we know much about love. Just naughty trysts, regrets, and fears of 60, 70, 80 years. And so, here we go. Just 4 old people singing, 4 old people singing, 4 old people singing. About love.
When I was in high school in the 50s, my mother and I would sit on the porch at night and she'd ask questions about the boys I went out with. And there were a lot of boys I went out with. What's he like? She would ask. What'd you talk about? Where'd you go? What'd you do? They were nice, those nights with Mother on the porch, except with all her asking, She never taught me anything. So I was such an innocent, and all my dates were pretty much the same. He'd drive us to the lake in his shiny Chevy. My hands would shake and my breathing would be heavy. 'Cause once the top of the car was down, that was my silent cue to do the one thing I knew and happened to love to do. Necking. Have you heard of necking? Boy, I loved necking. It was terrific. We begin with pecking, sweet little kisses, then trekking, shoulder to shoulder, but checking. We never went too low, 'cause I wasn't a fast girl. Oh no, I'd make them weep. Wasn't one of those fast girls, the ones who'd kiss on a second date. So when at last, girl, I'd open up the gate, so to speak, to more than necking, giving in at what the hecking, screaming up a sweat and sexy. Oh, except back then I had my virtue to protect, and so in virtue's name I necked.
I was all set to be an actor. In London. Oh, I'm not just saying it. I studied there for a year, was at the top of my class, and I was offered some great roles. I had a path all carved out for me, and I was ready to take the London stage by storm. All that was left was to fly back to New York and pack up my stuff. But then, swinging by to say goodbye, before I had my tryst with fate, I had a fling, a short-term thing, who one day said, I'm 2 weeks late. Though the West End stage still beckoned, I said goodbye, Olivier. Parting, oh, is such sweet sorrow, but hormones got in the way. Yes, hormones got in the way. So I did the sensible thing. Yeah, I became an accountant. Without much ado, we swapped I-dos. I thought we'd make a happy home, and so we did, with 4 great kids, until that business trip to Rome, when I met La Dolce Signorina, who simply took my breath away. Blame the vino, but really we know that hormones led me astray. Yes, hormones led me astray. But she made me feel 24 once more, making love all night, then the next day again. On the table after dinner, then plenty more on the floor. And baby, it wasn't just then. Here's the truth, ever since my youth I've stood at hormones' beck and call. Hell everywhere, had mad affairs, my loins on fire through it all. Hey, to his credit, this guy stuck with his children and his wife, until that Bella hexed this fella, and hormones ruined his life. Yes, hormones ruined my life. But with the gift of hindsight, in my twilight I recall, 'tis better to have loved and lost than to never have had hormones at all.
Making whoopee beside a lake in Alabama. Screwing on a kitchen table in Italy. It couldn't have been more different for me. My mother was young and divorced and a wild thing. She used to go out a lot. A lot. And can you believe she would come home late at night, wake me up, and tell me about her experiences. And this was before I went to high school. So can you blame me if I say, I really never had much fun with love. I was always in my head, constantly unsure, afraid and insecure, on dinner dates and in the bed. And yet I took a chance on love. I met a man proud and strong, became his bride, stayed by his side for far too fucking long. He made me feel small, like I was nothing at all. But back then, a woman stayed her course. 12 years snagged on his hook, till I came across a book, The Do-It-Yourself Divorce. And that's when I said, I'm done with your love. And I made a winning case. I was triumphant, I was free. It was time for me. I kicked his ass out into space and finally had fun loving in his place. Oh yeah.
Fun living, huh?
Well, fun-er. I was older, more confident, not so serious. I remember placing a personal ad in the Village Voice.
I tried that too. But you never knew who you'd end up with. It felt so dangerous.
Dangerous? Oh, but that was part of the fun. Oh boy. Oh, boys. Oh, the 70s and 80s. Hey, just to be clear, I was careful. It wasn't about getting off or sleeping around. It really was about the love, kissing, love. Oh boy, did I have an endless supply of love to give. I just wanted to spread it around, to as many people as I could.
Ask me what's my type and find I've always kept an open mind. Each category of mankind, I love them all. Pasty white or mocha skin, tight and toned or double chinned, stellar her smile or a gap-toothed grin. I've loved them all 'cause I'm a free lover with so much love to give. Yeah, I'm a free lover. It's how I choose to live. Love, 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 love. Free lover. High school dropout, Harvard grad, fancy gent or drunken cad, lifelong bachelor, curious dad. I've loved them all. Men of the cloth or men in suits, in 6-inch heels or cowboy boots, in scuba gear or parachutes. I've loved them all. Yeah, I'm a free lover. There's enough to go around. Oh, I'm a free lover. Don't hide it underground. Love, 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 love. Free lover. Welcome to a little show that's all about love. It's all about love. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Tigger, Tanner, Soldier, Spy, Lions, Tigers, Bears, oh my! I've loved them all. Crowding round or single file or side by side or in a pile. I'll add just, I'm versatile. I've loved them all, yeah, I'm a free lover. Why succumb to hate? Oh, I'm a free lover. Yeah, that's my natural state. Love, 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 love. L-O-V-E. Love, 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 love. Free lover.
So love's been good to you, too.
Well, sure. I had a few great relationships, but a bunch of them also left me thinking the grass was greener on whatever other side. I sued one. Oh, and another I had thrown in jail for stupid stuff on their part. People do stupid things, but fair is fair. The guy I sued, he brought up that I was gay in court. Nice guy, huh? Well, he thought it would scare me, but he underestimated me. I got some blood out of it, but not as much as I wanted. But I wanted to teach him a lesson.
Later in life, I became a painter, and I happen to know a lot of these abstract expressionists. They were a wily bunch, and it was so hard for a young woman painter to be taken seriously. I had this boyfriend. All that was important to him was his paintings of the Scottish sky. I was a painter too, but I had to sit on his lap and look at his paintings with him. Look, little girl, look what I do. Well, he didn't actually say that, but he might as well have. It was just, girls didn't make art.
That affair with the Italian girl, I just had to give it up. I was 15 years older than her, and I just couldn't take any more of the hash and the alcohol and the cigarettes that went along with going at it all day and all night. My brother died when he was 67. And he lived a much healthier lifestyle than I did. So I just said, love's gotta die before I do.
This ex-husband of mine, I saw him on his 80th birthday. I was so nice. I went all the way to Coney Island because he loved Coney Island. I bought him 2 t-shirts. He had the nerve to say to me while we were leaving, "You weren't so easy to live with." Maybe I wasn't, but he wasn't either. He died of Parkinson's a few years back. Wasn't a happy ending. But I felt like what goes around comes around. But of course, I tried to say, that's terrible.
I haven't lived with anyone since the 80s.
You know, my friend and I, we were talking about aging, and he says to me, when was the last time you woke up in a wreck?
Don't say it.
Well, used to be every morning you woke up with an
Don't say
it.
It's been years. But, you know, it's one of the blessings of old age. I'm no longer ruled by my hormones.
Speak for yourself. I haven't lost my sex drive.
Have you thought about getting married again?
Never.
At my age, I want people I can get to know and enjoy being with. Well, not so much in bed, but surrounding me. And I know a lot of these people. They're called friends.
I'm my own best friend.
I'm my own best friend, too.
People say, why do you live alone? Aren't you lonely? And I say, I'm not alone, and I'm not lonely.
A lot of people are that way about being alone.
I don't mind it.
Me neither.
I love it. I've learned to do things all by myself.
Afternoons I like to volunteer.
Got tulips in bloom.
Got my very own room. Got lots of friends right here.
You should have someone to share your time, people say, but I disagree.
Without compromises
or unpleasant surprises,
it's time for
loving me.
It's a gift to find someone who truly makes you happy.
So if you have them, good for you. But if you stick with someone, though it's really kind of crappy, we hope you've learned a lesson from our little review. Used to be that I put everybody else first, then life began at 50,
60,
75, learning new things,
spreading my wings, being alive. Am I counting down the decades or days? Who knows? There's only one guarantee. The time I have left won't be sad or bereft. It's time for loving me.
time to paint young lovers by a lake under a starry sky.
Time to move to Europe and take the stage by storm.
Time to learn, to do,
to help as many people as I can.
Screw the merely tolerating, life's worth celebrating. It's time.